Hey, what are you doing?
Writing a 850-point manifesto about how my life is nobody's business, even though I put my life out there to make it everyone's business.
Oh, gosh.
Don't shame me. Hello, everyone. I'm Steve. Mark's around. Say hi, Mark.
Hey, everybody!
And this is Smokey, Steve, and Marc. Either welcome or welcome back. And happy Saturday. It is the weekend, so we know what that means. Today is Pike Place, Starbucks. Peak. It's coffee. It's pretty good, too. Little ice in it today. Just coffee and ice. So I hope everybody's well. I hope everyone's safe. Look after yourselves. It's supposed to be a beautiful weekend here. Little toasty. I know it's much toastier other places, so I'll just call it temperate. So today we are going to revisit our fair lady, Chantal Marie, Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, the Daily Chantopolis, and Foodie Beauty again for the moment. So, it's been an interesting week.
Oh, it has. I'm sorry. I made a mistake.
What?
You were right.
I was right?
Yes, with the pike.
With the pike? It was.
It
See?
was. I'm
See?
so sorry.
See?
Ah.
And I wasn't... never mind.
Oh.
Anyway, that's not why we're here. So, interesting full week she's had. So we're going to go over a few bullet points that I pulled out over the week. Mark is going to share a little bit with us too, as he did last week. Not as much, but he's here. And then I want to go over the community post, the long bulleted one that was sent in the emergency room, between emergencies, I suppose. So, where we left off last week, kind of merging into this week. Last week we were taking trips to Montreal for food. Preamble to Chantal video reviews. We go with what's on camera. We take it with a grain of salt. Okay? So, she went to Montreal for food. Okay. Other thoughts of what she could be going there for? People have thrown out there maybe nose candy. Maybe it is for food. She did go one time to get a sandwich, but she made a video out of it. It wasn't a live. She went to that deli and got the sandwich and then did the history of the place, and that was really cute. This wasn't that. Or to see a gentleman friend, possibly, or to be apartment hunting. Who knows? She has a real hard-on for another reactor. FFG, you know who she is. I'm not going to put her full name on a blast, but who I'm not familiar with, but Chantal she's like the new Charlie Gold for Chantal. She just can't stop getting stuck on her content in regards to Chantal. Chantal accuses her of lying about her all the time. So, glean from that what you may. And then she was dishonest a few times, and it was under the umbrella of addicts lie. People in addiction lie. I was embarrassed. Don't shame me for lying, da-da-da-da-da-da. Incidentally, on these trips to Montreal, please don't smoke, look at the chat, and then try to drive the car at the same time. It's not safe for other people. We all take our lives in our own hands, obviously, when we make those choices, but other people aren't making those choices, and they could get hurt. I know the consequences. I've caused the consequences of being intoxicated behind the wheel. I'm not saying she is or isn't, but distracted driving can be just as deadly. So please. All right. First point I want to talk about, and this is like a this is like a theoretical thing that jumped out before we dive into the web of deceit, lies, and half-truths. Chantal just getting high on camera. The edibles, whatever else is going on, the shrooms. Is that using alone? Is that using by yourself? One of the things they'll ask at drug and alcohol intakes, I've had a few. Do you use alone? Do you drink alone? Do you use alone? Now, I remember when COVID started, people were having wine o'clock. Like Friday afternoons, there would be men or women who'd get together with their friends in a Zoom chat. So there was maybe 5, 6 people, and they'd all have a cocktail and chat because they couldn't get together and go together at the bar. So it was somewhat social and interactive. But they're home alone and they're having a drink, but they're, interacting. Is Chantal getting high on camera in front of an audience that she's chatting with using alone? Or is she interacting with people so she's not alone? Does it feel like if she's chatting, it's not really Using alone, was she using alone with the camera? There's a lot of these things that come with it. I gotta say, I don't know. But exclusively using content where a person's intoxicated is probably, I don't know. TOS could get in the way of that at some point, I would think. It changes. YouTube's TOS is written as such that any one of us at any time could have our channel deleted for any reason with no notice and no explanation. That's just how it's written. So I don't know, my channel's a 20th the size of hers, but I would still tread lightly with that. So that was my first kind of thought. Is she using alone? And is that a symptom of something bigger? Well, she's an addict. So anything goes now at this point, because we have a big red rubber stamper, addict, that goes on any unsavory behavior, any unsavory thing said, any lie that was told, anything that's going to be left out of a narrative that had already started and there was full disclosure on. But something unflattering, unsavory came up, and now it's not going to be talked about because I have a right to keep everything private on my channel if I want to. And yes, you do, and it's every right of yours to do that. But people become curious when they've heard all the details up to a point, and then it stops completely. And then after the fact, find out there was a little bit of dishonesty muddled in with it. I mean, people talk, and they know a lot about her life, and it's not from snooping through her trash or peeking in her windows, it's because I only know what I know because I've seen it on her channel. So anyway, so going forward, we have to take into consideration that Chantel is not super trustworthy. She's admitted to lying to her audience. And I'm going to take a step back from this because last week I kind of lost myself in the moment and took caring to a level of financing, and it's not cool. She made a few claims this week that I didn't really care for. I didn't like them. And I wasn't sure if they were true or not. And there was a lot of rumors in the reaction community if they were true or not. But everything is under scrutiny now, because once you say you've lied, you've lied. And it takes a while to, I think, build some trust back. The first thing that came up that was, I thought possibly maybe a lie late, maybe not, is her use of, she says 2 months she's been doing it. Other folks have suggested it's longer, maybe up to 6 months she was doing it. I can't say the exact timeline. I know she was on Ozempic, which is primary treatment is diabetes and a side effect. Maybe it's used off-label for weight loss. Maybe they indicate it for that. But primarily, the FDA has it for type 2 diabetes to control blood sugar. So it does have a prescribed purpose that is not weight loss. But I'm in the psych field as a patient. Don't look so surprised. And I take a number of medications off-label that aren't meant for something. I take an anticonvulsant to help control my mood. I take a lot of things that are off-label. But I don't know as much about that. And I think maybe she depends on people not knowing as much about that or doing as much digging. But I'm also not in her doctor's office. I'm not there. So I don't know 100%. But what I feel is that the cocaine started with Dom. That she had done it a little in the past when she was a kid in her party days. And I had my kid party days. And when you're a little bit older, you exaggerate them to sound cool. But then as you're older, you realize I was just a dumb kid trying everything in front of me sometimes. She said that she used to do it younger. And then I think it restarted with Dom. I think she did lose some weight from the Ozempic originally. I think the quote she gave was like 5% of your body weight, maybe 10, which for her at the size she started would be about 40 pounds. I don't know over what length of time that's supposed to be, but about 40 pounds. She lost almost 70. So it helped. The drugs helped. I mean, it would be curious. She's a very large woman for now. And the idea that she would lose 30 pounds in like a month or so, put that on anybody else. Like, let's say Mark lost 30 pounds in a month, but he's like a little, average-ish size. Or let's say I did, and I came back at like 170 pounds in a month. It would be noticeable because I'm closer to a normal weight. The wedding is in October, by the way, so I got to get down to gay weight fast. Like $150. I don't know. We'll figure it out. Only used for 2 months? Suggestions that maybe she got a better connect, maybe in Montreal. That was I'm not saying. This is just what was in the middle of what's going on. She has driven that far for food. I would confirm that. And if she can't get her hands on what she'd prefer, she might switch back to food in the interim. I don't think without substances she's going to be able to control her weight because she never has been able to. I've never seen her under 370 pounds before. And for her to drop that much weight with very little effort other than not eating because the medicines she was taking made her stomach sick and the other street drugs made her hyper. Did you see the exercise ball video? Oh my God. Oh my God.
Oh my God!
She had like chest pain in the middle of it. It was so, I mean, let's be real here. If coked out Chantal had that personality when she wasn't coked out and she was just fun and I'd hang out with her. I would. Different strokes, different folks. I would have hung out with that kind of girl in college. She would have been a lot of drama, very high maintenance, but probably a lot of fun. Don't know as an adult. But as a younger person, I would have. But that's not really her. I can tell Chantal doesn't move like that. She just doesn't. I don't care how happy she is. If she's doing her edible, she's calmed down. That was artificial, I believe. And if she was having a good day, great. But very shortly after that, she ended up in the hospital. So, another point. Addicts lie because they lie, and I lie because I'm an addict. And it kind of goes on a loop of this, which basically says, yes, I'm going to lie, but it's part of my illness. I can't help but do it, so you have to understand it. So we've taken dishonesty into a medical situation at this point, and it's like uncontrollable, sort of. Okay. Active addiction can be wrapped in lies. If a person is actively using dishonesty. I'm Steve. Okay. Very dishonest. Very dishonest when I used to drink. I would steal your purse and then go help you look for it. Finding money in pockets. Shoplifting was something I did a lot. I would never shoplift from a liquor store. I was too scared. I was on paper. I was on parole for like 5 years. And I couldn't go into a bar. If I was spotted, it was a violation. So I ended up going to like drugstores and shoplifting or buying mouthwash. Because I felt safer going to the store because I was too scared to go to the state store because I thought I'd get arrested. Do you see how these insane bargains start happening and how it like slides really quick? I remember a few weeks ago, and not because I'm a psychic and I'm not going to say told you so, but we had concerns months ago that this could escalate really, really quickly. Something could happen really, really fast. I mean, just because she's using cocaine, to talk about was it 6 months, was it 2 months? It's like you could get hooked in. If it hits you in the right spot, if it trips your trigger, it could be a day or two. You know, it could be really, really quick. If you catch a habit, you can catch a quick habit, assuming that her substance use is primary, that it's its own thing, and that it's not an offshoot of some other issue that she has. I'm not a psychiatrist, but they'd be interesting things to know. Interesting questions for her to ask a mental health professional. Why am I like this? And then tell them all about yourself and get a little feedback. Don't ignore the feedback if you don't like it. You're not going to like the feedback. Let's put it this way. None of us like the feedback. No one likes being called out about being dishonest and hurting people around us. But if that's what's been going on, it's what's been going on. Okay? So, lying because all addicts lie. People tend to lie. Shame, embarrassment, not wanting to hurt others. They also don't tell the truth. To continue the addiction, because if anyone finds out, they would try to stop me, and I don't want to stop. So I'd tell lies to keep people away, to keep people from asking questions. I'm fine. I just had a great night's sleep. I just had too much coffee. I'm just really tired today. I have an inner ear infection. That's why I'm staggering. All sorts. Oh, I went out drinking last night. That's why I smell like vodka at 8 o'clock in the morning. Anything like that. Oh, I had an old back injury. That's why I take 8 Percocet every morning. Stuff like that. You know, you kind of make up. And then people like, well, they know you're lying. It's kind of like what's going on with her chat now. There's people that know she's lying. They're supporters of hers that know because she's told them. And it casts suspicion on anything else the person says after that. Continuing with lying. We can't pick and choose what lies we want people to believe and what truth we want people to believe. I can tell you that. I wasn't lying about this, but I was lying about that. We don't have the luxury of that. You know, if you're going to say you're an addict, I'm a recovering person with a substance use disorder, we have now more in common than I even thought before. Unfortunately, this is a terrible thing to have in common. It's unfortunate. However, addiction is highly treatable. But treatment is not done to us, it's done with us. So we can't just show up and get well. At any rate, Mark,
Yeah.
can you come in here, please? Because something else, one point, and then I want to talk about something else that we came across while we were searching for content here. And thank you, reactors and other creators, Jessayan, Thor, and a few others, for condensing these archives together, because it was hellish and then shit got deleted. Point one, I want to see if you agree. And then I have another thing I want your opinion on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So, point one. If someone's actually doing well in recovery, you know, they're honest, they're sober and that, do you think that without opening their mouth, you can still tell if they're, like, in a good spot? I feel like it kind of shines through.
It does.
You don't have to defend yourself so much. You don't have to offer proof that you're doing well. That if you're legitimately trying, not full of shit, and clean, people can kind of see it in your face. They can see the sincerity. You don't have to go on a litany of what you're doing and what you're trying.
Absolutely, I agree.
To a trained eye, and mine's a little sharper after losing $10. So I'm just putting that out there. It'll be less talk, more action, more show if and when recovery or healing enters her life. Then, apparently Amberlynn Reed had something to say about this.
Yeah.
Okay, Amberlynn
she
Reed.
did.
You know Amberlynn Reed. I don't really know her, but I didn't like this. Mark,
Yeah.
you want to share your thoughts for a second?
I can do that.
Because I don't really know Amberlynn Reed, but she said some of the dumbest shit I ever
Do you want
heard.
me to sit down?
Yeah, sit for a second.
Oh, I'm not
because-
even dressed. Howdy, y'all. How are ya?
Hello. So, you saw what I saw.
I did.
You want to give a little... This was...
Yeah, well, you know what, Amberlynn Reed, I'm quite surprised coming out of just nowhere and showing her support for her. Hey, kudos to her for supporting a friend, I guess.
They're friendsies, I guess, on YouTube. So.
But I mean, what she said, in my informed opinion, is just not right. I mean, by saying that she should not be held responsible for her lies because she's an addict. Come on, that just further
Get out of truth-free card.
Exactly, and it continues to enable her to continue to lie.
Now, this is coming from Amberlynn Reed, who, according to most, does not have a great track record with truth. So,
No. I was very surprised that somebody would so publicly come out and say that, like those words that makes, whether or not you are an individual with active substance use going on in your life right now. Okay, an active addict.
Yeah.
As opposed to an addict who is in recovery. It doesn't even matter. Even if you're not in recovery, you lie, you're responsible. You're responsible for the words that come out of your mouth. Absolutely you are. And then to further go on and say that, nobody should be commenting on or, giving her flack for her addiction because that's private. She can choose what she wants to put out there.
Yeah.
Well, she has put everything out there publicly, and absolutely it's our right to comment and share our opinions and what's going on with her.
Well, we have comment sections.
That's what it's for.
And it's her prerogative to delete stuff, but when every comment looks supportive, you can't help but think that some things that were probably hateful, but some that were just constructive criticism probably got weeded out too, because they were uncomfortable to hear, uncomfortable to read.
Right.
So, but discomfort, she has a very low tolerance for distress. Any bit of discomfort, delete.
Right.
Delete the video, get something to eat, do this, do that. She has very low tolerance for
It was one thing that
stress.
stuck out to me this week when I saw that. I was like, what? Did she just say those things,
Yeah.
I'm sure there are two sides to this, but I mean, I'm standing behind what I say. You are absolutely responsible for whatever you do and whatever you say, whether or not you're in active addiction or not. And as far as being able to share thoughts on what's going on in her life right now, I totally agree that her things that are private should be private, and no, then you don't comment on it. But this is not private. She is making a public spectacle out of this whole thing that's going on in her life right now. And to say that the people who watch her, whether we're supporters, reactors, haters, no matter who is watching, what the audience is, absolutely they can comment and share their thoughts.
Thank you, Mark.
Oh, you're welcome.
He'll be back. He'll be back.
Just my opinion. I don't know.
All right, so now that we've kind of summed up, and again, I stopped watching a lot of the videos because it was a lot of just being defensive, being dishonest. And then after all this, you know, we went to the ER. Okay. Oh, there was a bouncing on the bouncy ball, which I told you
the ball!
I thought it was funny as hell.
Oh, me too.
Funny as hell if she hadn't been what I thought was intoxicated at the time. You don't... And she looked like she was going to die. I think she forgot for a second that she was big. So then there's the post where she's in the ER. So she goes to the emergency room. Well, she puts a post out a little bit earlier, a couple days, that says, "You Beezers love me," because her metrics were shit and she seemed surprised. Then she said that she was going to have a family member escort her to the emergency room because she has other health problems and she didn't feel good after using and da-da-da-da. Then she gets to the ER. Now, in any ER, there's a lot of time to kill, okay? I suspect in her situation, she wasn't an emergency because it sounded like she got mostly a checkup and she wasn't admitted. So she went to get herself checked out, make sure everything was groovy, and then they tried to set up, I guess, addiction aftercare. But this is the message that came out. Now, you've all heard this 1,000 times. I'm just going to bullet it and give you a few quick thoughts on each. She's laying in bed waiting on test results. Live from the ER. This was a couple days ago. Need to clear a couple things up because there's so many lies going around because of reaction channels twisting things and making up stupid conspiracy theories. I give her the benefit of the doubt. It could be true. I'm not hopeful, but it could be true. Honestly, sure, hate comes with the territory of being a public figure, but I can still observe and say some things and their comments are vile. 1, I took this pic for proof and not for attention. I don't tell you all my caps real human problems for attention. Yes, because I love being an addict and I did it all for attention. Okay, this is not like pull at the heartstrings. Oh, you don't know how hard. You don't even know how... Okay, my weight loss did start with the Ozempic. It made me not hungry, so I didn't, because I didn't address my food addiction, I believe a transfer of addiction occurred. So I did lose about 50 pounds from the Ozempic and not substance abuse. I will continue to try and maintain healthy weight loss and try to do it healthier. If she comes off either one of those, she's going to gain weight. She didn't deal with her food addiction, it transferred. If she gets rid of those drugs, it'll transfer right back. It'll just go right back. The weight will come back on. People say I don't have a right to say anything about the weight loss because it's from Ozempic, have a skewed thinking process. It's a tool like any other weight loss tool, surgery, etc. The Ozempic, yes. The cocaine, no. No, it's not. But I would say the Ozempic is a tool. I mean, there's medications people take like Contrave and some other ones that are like diet pills sort of, and they lose weight. So is it active diet, exercise, and a total lifestyle change? No, but the weight came off. You know, I'm sure it's a last resort. I'm sure they've been prescribing her diet and lifestyle changes for 25 years. So if all she'll take is a pill, give her the damn pill. Give her the shot, rather. 3, I started using only approximately 2 months ago and not 6 or more. That is all bullshit lies, and it is so ironic and hypocritical for these moronic reaction channels to accuse me of lying about everything, yet people believe their lies. Okay, Chantal, you lied. I mean, you told everybody you lied, you know, and that's honest, but the best way to stay honest is not lie again, you know? There's no trap house on this particular street. People are literally dumb. I pulled over on that street because I was going to Burger King. That's good defense. It's a good defense. It's a good defense, but it's so on point with Chantal. I wasn't going to get cocaine. I was going to Burger King. It just made me laugh. Not because I think it's a lie or true or whatever. It just made me laugh. I relapsed last night. The day before I did not use. So when you all thought I did in that live stream, it actually hadn't that early morning. It was the day before that, though. This means nothing. Because Chantal's days and nights are not the same as everybody else's. She sleeps like a cat. Like, she'll sleep like 5 hours and then get up and go to bed for 2. And her whole idea, she didn't know 2 days in a row that she had gone to Montreal. She was like, was it day before yesterday or was it today? Or, you know, she wasn't too certain of all that stuff. Also, it's hard-pressed to say that not using for 1 day and then going right back out would be a relapse. It feels more like continued use without any sort of intervention. And she was acting last week like, oh, this, the withdrawal isn't bad. Well, she didn't go very long without it. Withdrawal sucks. Withdrawal from any drug. The mental withdrawal from any drug sucks. Physical can be different substance to substance, but the mental part is the hardest part to deal with because you're stuck in your head. You can't get out of it. So, let's see. So yeah, I wouldn't use the word relapse exactly. Any day sober is good. Any clean day is good. It's great to string a few in a row and ask for the kind of help you need to do that. Yes, I'm a huge mess. Oh no, I don't owe anyone. I'm so frustrated. I'm dropping shit. I don't owe anyone any information. This is point 5. I want to keep certain things private from now on. I have the right to do that. This is everything she's ever done. I can keep it private. When the heat gets too hot, or it gets a little too close to home, or it gets a little too personal, she shuts down with it. Believe what you want at the end. It has no impact on my life. Yes, it does. It affects your money. It affects who's watching. It affects reaction channels. It affects people going to the reaction channels to watch her content there instead of with her. It affects, it's not affecting subscribers, apparently. She's up about 500. Figure that out. So, yes, I'm a huge mess right now, but today is a new day. And today I'm choosing to get help and keep trying to work on myself. One day we will Eurobees and I will starve all you bitches of using my messy life for content. Honey, she's just a messy life kind of person. It's just how it's going to be. I would still follow her in recovery because I'm in recovery. I would love to see how she does that journey, because those are messy too. Those are journeys all their own as well, with ups and downs, lefts and rights. And some people do go back out after a period of time and then come back in to recovery, and they all look different. Mine doesn't look like Mark's. Everyone's recovery is their own, Some people are 12-step Bible thumpers, and some people are just a little more relaxed about it. Some people it's a part of their life. Some people it's their whole life. You pick what helps you get by. I came to the ER, point 7, because I have several medical conditions you all know about, and yes, I have been neglecting my health. When you're at your lowest and depressed, I was neglecting my health. When you are at your lowest and depressed, she does that first to second person switch a lot. I do it too, and it sounds like lecturing. I always try to pull back on it, and I have a really hard time doing it. When you are at your lowest and depressed, you tend to neglect your health. Anyone see the bouncy ball? Anyone see the bouncy ball? And by the way, before I forget, as far as not the huge mess, what the hell one was it? Feeling depressed and things don't get done and you neglect your health in your home. My parents came over for my birthday, which was last week, and I had Ms. Huzzy on reacting to, I think, the tea video, the morning tea video, and I had just turned the volume down and they came to visit and we're all sitting around talking and stuff. And my dad, who's not a big talker, sits on the couch and the TV's right in front of him here. And he looks up and he doesn't really say much. And then he says, "This woman's house is filthy." Yeah, Dad, this is the woman I watched during the week, and then I comment on the weekends. He's like, "The drawers are open." I was like, "It's been like that for days, Dad." It was odd, of all the things he noticed. Not Ms. Huzzy in the wig and the sunglasses and the hat. Not that. He noticed that. All right. So, 8, I have an appointment with Intake tomorrow to get insurance coverage help for addiction. I did not have access to this program as a food addict. I believe it. I could get into rehab, but I couldn't get eating disorder help. Not in the States. And the first time I went to rehab, I had to wait 5 days for admission. If you have money, you can show up right there and drop it at the door and start day 1. But I didn't have coverage. The closest thing we have here to socialized medicine is Medicare and maybe Medicaid. I had Medicaid at the time I had to go to treatment. And to make up the difference, I had to get county funding to go and then wait for a bed to open for them to have a bed space available for someone with my funding type. So I had to wait like 5 or 6 days to go. She isn't mentioning anything about inpatient treatment. Hasn't. If it's in the works, if it's not, if she's just wanting to go outpatient, if it's all a bunch of bullshit. It's all smoke right now because nothing's actually happened. 9, I like making numbered lists. 10, if you are just here to shame me for whatever reason, I will block you and you can continue to suck donkey balls all day, every day. There is a difference between being shamed and feeling ashamed. There's also a difference between being shamed and people trying to hold me accountable for what I've said and hold me accountable for my actions. Not that anyone on YouTube can have an impact in my life because I've necessarily lied to them except for my money. If I'm living off YouTube, if that's my income, I gotta watch what I say. But shaming is, it's not the same thing. It's not the same thing as someone saying, I want to, we want to hold you accountable for telling us lies and not the truth. And saying, well, don't shame me for being an addict because addicts lie. That's a very convenient way to continue to mislead people and it's get out of truth free. It's not, it doesn't work like that. It might explain dishonesty, but it doesn't excuse it. Put it that way. So, someone is barfing and farting in the next room, number 11. Ugh. 12, I will be staying with someone, obviously keeping this a secret because people are nuts and stalkerish, for a few days in order to not be alone and to be accountable. So she did stay. There's the video of she's in bed with a dog, and she said her uncle's dog. So I'm guessing that's where she went, maybe uncle or whatever. And then just now before I come live here, she's home and she's got a bunch of edibles. So I don't know. Number 13, lucky number, and 14, who the F has the nerve to claim I'm faking an addiction? If you commented this, you're literally the worst kind of person and need more help than me. Faking? It's sudden. Is her addiction to drugs primary? Like I said, is it the only thing? Like, was food, she was just fucking around with food for all these years, and now drugs are the thing she really wants, and she'll never go back to food? Or will she just bounce in between all of them because it's just her personality to always need something to fill a void, to make her feel distracted, to make her feel full, to fill all that kind of stuff. People use the language of all sorts. I don't know. Is she faking it? It might not be the only thing she has going on. I'll say that. There's other things, other twists of the mind, other diagnoses where people have periodic substance abuse, but it's not necessarily what's actually going on, where other issues can be resolved and that might actually fall to the side. But again, I'm not a shrink, and it's not my position as a viewer to be digging through her head for specific diagnoses and stuff like that, probably. I say she's an addict because she says she's an addict. Next, I will do an update video or live stream when I get home and do better. To my supporters, parentheses, enablers, because I don't deserve any kindness or support, I love you so much and thank you for your positivity. Okay. No, I don't deserve it because No. The regret I had for sending money to Chantal was only because there was money involved. I do care about how she's doing. Addiction sucks. You make this kind of fool out of yourself. Most of us don't do it with 80,000 subscribers. Most of us don't do it. We tend to do it more privately. I can think of some other YouTubers that we probably all know, and they do reactions, and they deal with substance use disorders, and they'll step away when they're not well. Sometimes they've come on camera not okay, and stepped away and came back. And some have been very forthright about their recovery and how it's hard, and they've taken steps back and steps forward, and they've been honest about it. It's also not the main focus of their channel. They also don't continue to appear intoxicated on camera and tell everyone who notices to mind their own fucking business. So they're willing to accept that feedback and look at themselves and say, hey, maybe I'm not seeing myself so clearly. Maybe other people are. Maybe trusted friends. Can't go by any old viewer because there are people that just want to be hateful. There are. And then there's people with the constructive criticism. You usually get shooed away with the hateful ones. And then there's the people who blow smoke up her ass. And then there's probably a small set of people, which I think I fall into, who are concerned. I care after 2 years. I care about how she's doing. But I can't put up with the get out of all the excuses. If you know what's wrong, get together, do something about it. If you fuck up trying, you fuck up. But if you're not even going to try, I'm going to try to. I have an appointment tomorrow. I will continue to make efforts. None of this is action. None of this is action. Show me some action, lady. Show me some action. I'm on your side, but you gotta, everyone deserves support, I think. It took me 3,000 tries to get sober. You should have seen the mess. You should have seen the mess I made. And then I got better, So, and I have to continue to maintain myself. It's not like I got better and I don't have to do anything anymore. You have to deal with it every day. I don't know if she has the wherewithal for that. She's going to need help. She's going to need help, and she's so fucking stubborn, she probably won't take it. She would rather die than accept a hand up with that. So that's what I have to say about her hospital visit. And the fact that she just went and got some new edibles means fuck all. It means she believes, I think, that marijuana is different than hard drugs, and she'll continue to do that. But she uses it like I used to drink all day, off and on. And then on camera, extra. When not on camera, I used to go out in public. Luckily, smartphones weren't as popular when I drank. So I don't know. I don't trust her right now. And she was the queen of manipulation prior to being an addict, quote unquote. So I don't even know what to say about that. She was good at it before. She did it before any of this was around, before Dom was around, before we were dealing with lives instead of like recorded videos. She was still manipulative and would still fib here and there. You know, little white lies don't hurt anybody, but when you're talking addiction, you suck a lot of people in. Fuck YouTube. Family, friends, all that stuff. Everyone gets sucked in, and you're juggling lies. Would I tell this person? Would I tell that person? Do I have enough money in my account? And the idea of collecting money from people to then use it and turn around and spend on drugs, because you can't itemize, oh, I only spent this person's money on gas and this person's on food and this person's on this. I get that's how she makes her living, but it's such a straight line from my wallet to your nose that it was just so uncomfortable. I you know what I mean? It didn't sit well with me. I'm not going to tell your subscribers and your viewers how they should spend their money, but it was not okay with me. So, Mark? Yeah? We're going to wrap up here because we're closing in on 45 minutes. I'm not really sure.
You want me to sit down?
Yeah, have a seat. This could be a minute. I'm not really sure what else to say. You know, for having nothing to say, I had a whole lot to say.
Yeah, you did.
What are your kind of final thoughts after you were listening in and you saw a lot of the videos?
Yeah, I did. Put on the spot here. Well, you know, as a person who is in recovery for quite some time now, and I also work in the field, you know, I find this all I find it quite sad and annoying, very annoying too. In my opinion, like we had touched upon the privacy thing, I just think that this, in my opinion, I think that this is all, she's using this as attention, you know, as drama. This should not be publicly out there as this is. You know what I mean? And her statement of, well, I'm just, I'm not hurting anybody. I'm not hurting anybody at all. That's not true. That's not true at all. First and foremost, you're hurting yourself. You really are. And there are people who care about you. And those people you are hurting. You're hurting your roommate. I mean, Pete is a very quiet person for the most part. I'm sure he has feelings about this, but it would be very difficult to watch somebody who you cared about going through this, in addition to going through this so publicly, you know. Your family, and not to mention all the people who watch you. There are people who get triggered by this, and her response to that is, well, F them, don't watch then. The high and mighty kind of thing, you know. So I don't know. That's just, you know, my opinion on this. I think that her track record proves that she is not a real truthful person. This stuff happened. I know you touched on this, but this
bears
prior to all of this, we kind of had an issue with that, you know. I think it's getting a lot worse now, and the notion that I am not responsible because I'm an addict, I do think it's interesting that she's using a lot of recovery terms now.
Yeah.
You know, transference of addiction, you know.
Not all of them accurately.
Not all accurately either.
Not all of them accurately.
You know, just even the word addict alone and all of that. I find that quite curious too, you know.
I do,
but yes, I do. And what really, really did it for me this week was the entitlement of, I'm trying to word this nicely. I don't know, I'm on the spot here. I'm trying to word it nicely. The manipulation of her audience for her to gain something, and I mean predominantly money, when she specifically said, you know, in that horrible, like, when she was like, well, you know, if I lose my YouTube money, then I'll be homeless, and I'm just going to sink deeper and deeper into my addiction, you know. Now that puts that into our hands. Like, should we support you? Should we send you money? Should we keep, you know, all that? I just think
she'll be homeless if I don't send it to her. That toes the line of e-begging.
in the worst way, you know,
And
the
she ain't no-
manipulating.
And she's never done anything
No,
I've seen close to e-begging. But that
no, never. I always loved that about her.
It-
You know, oh, it just really annoyed me. But you know, this is part of it.
Yeah.
It's part of what's going on with her. Do I think she's 100% lying about everything? No. I think
No,
there
me
are
neither.
some truth sprinkled in there. But one thing that I do truly believe is that this is exactly what she wants to happen. She wants this drama. She wants this attention. Because attention equals views, views equals money. You know, let's not forget here, law enforcement is involved here a couple times.
Mhm.
There's evictions going on, and she, you know, I don't believe for 1 second that they offered her this beautiful condo for her to, it's not like that.
The day after the cops came.
I mean, come on, you know, we have to kind of keep all this stuff in mind.
Yeah.
You know,
I mean, I like to take her at certain points at her word.
I
But
do
I have
too.
to trust my own eyes,
I
ears,
absolutely
and,
do
you know.
too. I like to give everybody the benefit of the doubt, but
I'm not a
we've
moron, and
done
neither are
this
you.
over and over and over.
You can't
again.
bullshit bullshitters.
Thank you. No, you.
Mark has a
cannot.
better bullshit detector than I do, by the way.
No,
but
I see it every day. I do, and
Yeah.
it's denial for sure. But it's interesting that this denial it's like sprinkled with half truths in there too. I do know if she continues on this road, it's not going to end pretty at all. Not at all. She does need to get help, because even if on the flip side of it, all of this is just for attention and it's all lies and exaggerated and everything, like she's gonna it's gonna be bad. It's going to be bad.
Yeah.
She needs to get help.
And as far as rock bottom goes,
she's nowhere near her.
She ain't
rock bottom.
close.
No, I mean, I know she used that term, and
she has a lot more to lose.
Yeah, she does. And now everybody's rock bottom is different.
Mhm.
Absolutely. What's one rock bottom for somebody can be totally different for somebody else.
This is
okay.
true. This is true.
But let me tell you, she has not hit rock bottom. Not at all.
Mm-mm.
And I do wish her the best. I hope that she can get the help that she needs, but she has to want it, and she has to make the effort to do it. That's where it starts.
If she gets well for any appreciable period of time, like a year and a half, we'll road trip it. Because by then the borders will be open.
Her
and we will go visit Chantal, and we're going to
Okay.
bring her a gift.
All right, that sounds good. Now, you said this publicly.
18 months, no lies.
So we're going to have to do it if it happens.
No lie. You're going to have to pee in a cup before we get there.
I have the cups.
I'm going to make her pee in a
I have
cup.
a bunch of them.
And if she pisses clean, ahoy, we go north.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right.
All right, well, thank you.
We're wrapping it up. So
you are? All
yeah.
right.
Well,
Bye, everybody.
Thank y'all for watching. Please do subscribe. Hit the notification bell on your way out so you get alerts when we have new videos and also when we go live. You can follow us on Facebook at SmokeySteveAndMarc or on Instagram at SmokeySteveAndMarc. Our email address and our contact info is all listed down below as well. Thank you again, and we will catch up with you tomorrow. We are going live at 6 p.m. Eastern, so if you're around, feel free to stop by. It's usually pretty chill, maybe 100-ish, 100-plus people in the chat, and we have pretty good mods, too. They're really cool. So, thanks for watching. Bye!